PHARMASEAL webinar is going to begin in a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining the PHARMASEAL webinar. We will begin in a few minutes. PHARMASEAL webinar is about to begin. Thank you for joining us today. Hey everybody, my name is Ricky Lakhani. I am the Director of Product Management at PHARMASEAL, and this is a dry run webinar. As you can see, I am putting myself on the big screen, and I've put my name and job title at the bottom of the page, but I can do a lot more with the layout. This is just a basic layout to try out an introduction where I can show everybody my entire face, the room that I am sitting in, and my beautiful curtains that you can see actually just over here. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. We're going to dive right into the presentation about the pricing page now, and we will be recording every aspect of this, and I will talk you through some of the cool things that you can do with live streaming on YouTube using the technology that Jono has chosen for us. Alright, so now we have switched to the presentation, and as you can see at the top of the page there is a few things like our corporate logo, a title. You can see I am still on the video on one side, a little disclaimer down in the bottom corner on the right hand side as well, and then the main content, which is right in the middle of the page. Hopefully the audio is coming across nice and clearly, and also you can see things nice and clearly on the entire screen. So if we were doing this webinar for real, this is what it could look like, although all of this is completely configurable, and we can change any of these layouts, colors, fonts, images for whatever we want. I'm even thinking we could have some music in the introductory pieces and at the end to lead into the webinar and lead out of the webinar. Okay, so let me start presenting and I can walk through my slides. So as you can see now, we're on the next slide that has gone onto the screen. This talks about our requirements for our pricing page. And as I'm presenting to the audience, I can just cycle through my various slides. I could even point to things if I wish to, left, right, just have to remember which hand in which direction. And I can just keep going through. I can also use my mouse cursor to point at very specific things like the little work in progress logo that's on every page that actually shouldn't be there. I also have to remember that I got to keep looking straight at this camera and not looking anywhere else, because that is where I will then be making eye contact with the audience. So we just cycle through all the pages here, business requirements, the add-ons, the call to actions, and then if we wanted to look at some visuals, we can bring those up as part of the presentation as well. And in this particular example, as I cycle through the slides, I actually have a hyperlink to some designs that we did with our website designer Jono. So I can also click on that link, and my computer will think about this for a second, but it should actually then open up. There we go, and I can then present something like conceptual design. So let me, for the audience, zoom in to our designs, and now I can say, well, we went from those requirements on the slide deck that you saw. I shouldn't really put my hand out to the camera as I do this, but I can then take you through the designs, and I can even then flick to the actual page and say, look at this. So we have gone from requirements over here to conceptual designs over here to an actual pricing page on the website. When all is said and done, I know I just looked to the right hand side because I needed to find the scene switcher. We'll have to build some shortcuts so you know not to take your eyes off the camera to switch scenes. When the webinar is done, I can thank everybody for joining, put in a little ending page, say thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time. I'm obviously not on the screen now, and we can play some music that will close out the webinar for us. And that would be